I've been shooting New York City now on a regular basis for a little over a year. And obviously, as exciting as it is for a photographer to be proximal to this city, it didn't take too long for my photo walks to feel almost regular, like routine, if that makes sense. But that's why a recent week that I spent photographing the city every single day with a couple friends really stuck out to me. See, back in November, my friend Jacob flew out here from Utah so we could spend a week shooting street in New York City. If you're not familiar with Jacob, he shoots what I think is some of the most impressive American landscape work that you're gonna find on the internet right now. While he was here, we went to a few events. We of course linked up with a bunch of other friends and shot a ton of photos. So in this video, I'm gonna recap one of the craziest weeks of street photography that I've had since I moved here. Enjoy. On the first day, Jacob arrived in the early afternoon, and we got to spend a couple of hours basically just warming up, shooting some street. This first few hours felt kind of like a nice low pressure opportunity for not just me, but for him to kind of warm up in this obviously very different environment. Later that night, we ended up heading over to the Leica Gallery in Chelsea for the opening of Matthew Baton's showing of his body of work, Paris Blues. The next day, we made our way straight back into the city for our first full day of shooting. Lucky for him, Jacob came into town right when the fall foliage in Central Park and the other parks in the city was pretty much at its peak. So we spent a lot of our day walking around there and just taking photos. Third day, we woke up early to link up with our buddy J Mac and catch the sunrise from a really cool vantage point that we found in New Jersey. Jacob was actually doing a project with ProMaster during his visit to the city, so we did a few product and lifestyle photos of his tripod that morning as well. From here, we went back into the city, met up with Faisal, and took a walk around Chinatown and Little Italy. On the fourth day, we honestly just chose to sleep in and kind of just hang out at my place because we wanted to take a break. We didn't want to overdo it too much. But on day 5, we did link up with a bunch of people, and that was a pretty full day of photography. So for this 5th day, we got up early again and met up with a big group to go do a photo walk downtown and over the Brooklyn Bridge. Over the last couple of years, I've made a pretty good amount of friends in the photography space in general. And thankfully, what's nice about New York is a really big group of creatives are localized here. And we wanted to do our best to meet up with as many of them as possible.
shoot as much street, and I feel like today is one of the best days I've gone out, because as you can see, it's a mix of landscape, mix of street, and just enough wind to get people out of their element. It's so populated here that you're invisible.
For Jacob's last day, we decided to make the most of it. So we got up early for sunrise yet again. We decided to take a ferry from New Jersey over to the city. After this, we hung out for a little bit longer, grabbed some coffee, but I actually had some client work that I had to do, so I ended up leaving a little bit earlier than everyone else. And that was pretty much the end of it for me that week, but it was still a nice morning. Although I'm local to the city now, obviously, this week felt a little bit more like travel than anything else. And I think it was just because we stuffed so much photography into, 5 or 6 days. But honestly, I really do think it was refreshing for me to look at the city this way again. Anyways, I really hoped you enjoyed this episode. If you have a favorite photo from anybody featured in the video, definitely let us know down in the comments. I've also left everyone's Instagram in the description. Definitely check out Jacob and the rest of the friends down there. That said, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.